All right, good afternoon, everyone. It's 12:01. We call this subcommittee on local revenues to order on today. I'm Delegate Kent Roberson, and welcome you all here. We have a quorum now, and we're going to start first with HB 1096. Delegate Jeffrey Long's property tax credit notice through property tax bill. We have an amendment before us, and first, I believe we can just start with the amendment. Stan, if you don't mind sharing what the amendment does.
The amendment basically removes the language that's currently in the bill and substitutes a requirement that the materials that are sent, the written materials that are sent in the property tax bill, include either a website address or a QR code that leads to a website where all the credits that are available in the county would be listed and some basic information on how to apply for those credits.
Thank you, Stan. With that being said, I'll entertain a motion to move the amendments.
The amendments, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second? I see Delegate Williams raising his hand. A second. Thank you. On the amendments, any discussion? Okay. All in favor of moving the amendments signify by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. The movements have been adopted. Now, Delegate Young, just so you know, your camera is not on, so I can't tell for you as well. I don't know, something look like you might be having technical difficulties. But on the bill as amended, is there a motion to move the bill as amended?
Move favorable.
Second.
Moved by Delegate. Thank you. Moved by Delegate Fairmark, seconded by Delegate Williams. Any discussion? Delegate Hartman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So as amended, so now the bill doesn't require language on the bill, just a website for somebody to go to.
Correct.
So very simple, minimal language. So each county can create a site or a reference point, and that would be the extent of the requirement.
That's correct.
Still a mandate on the each county whether they want to do that or not, correct?
Well, no, they would be required to.
Go
Right,
ahead.
it's a mandate. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Could I say something?
Yep, go ahead, Delegate Long.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody remembers this. When they first had it, the homestead property tax credits, you had to apply for it. It was in the tax bill. Part of the problem was most people don't open up their tax bills because their banks pay their property taxes. I mean, this is good start. I just wish there was the other way we could let people know what tax credits are available. And again, I'm all for the bill. I just wish there was another way we could look at letting homeowners know what tax credits are available for them. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And thank you, Delegate Long. I appreciate you raising that because I am one of those people who does not open it either. So I'm guilty of that. I'm lucky if I even check my mailbox. But I do agree that it is a good start. Any other discussion on the bill as amended? All right, all in favor of moving House Bill 1096, signify by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, bill moves favorable with, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in favor. Moving now to House Bill 161. I see Delegate Ruth is here, so just since she is here, we'll go to that one first. The property tax credit retail service station conversions. The bill is amended. It has a reprint amendment. And Stan, if you don't mind sharing what that amendment does.
Sure. So the amendment just says that the property tax credit would not be available for a property unless any underground storage tanks that were located on the property or were formerly located on the property were permanently closed in accordance with regulations of the Maryland Department of the Environment. And those are existing regulations that are already in place.
Thank you. Is there a motion on the amendments?
Move the amendments.
Is there a second?
I can second.
Second, moved by Doug Fairmark, second. Any discussion on the amendments?
Yes.
Go ahead, Delegate Long.
I just want to make sure we're clear. So if it was a gas station and there was previous tanks on the property, and I guess this question be for Stan. If they were if there were tanks on the property, they were properly removed, and MDE come out and give a permit or anyway give them their blessing, then this tax credit wouldn't apply. Am I correct?
So actually, it would apply if they had been properly shut down in accordance with MDE regulations. So the idea is that this credit would not be available for things that are already legally required to be done to shut down a gas station. It would be for any additional work that had to be done to reuse the property, such as residual soil contamination that might need to be dealt with before it could be repurposed for certain uses.
All right. Wouldn't the Brownsfield legislation deal with any additional cleanups or anything and the liability as far as someone buying new property? It's been properly closed down by MDE. Am I correct?
I think that's another program that is available for this kind of thing. And so I think this would be a supplement. And it's optional for counties to adopt this additional incentive.
Right. So this is a may, it's not a shall.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Thank you, Stan. Thank you, Delegate Long. Delegate Feldmark?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to take a moment to thank the sponsor for all of her work on this issue and for responding to the concerns I raised. I think it was I definitely want to be able to authorize counties to offer this incentive for redevelopment of former gas stations. But as Stan explained, the concern was making sure that the tax credit wasn't being used to help offset what was already the legal obligation of the gas station owner. And I know the sponsor did a lot of work back and forth with MDE to get clarification on how to make this work, and just really wanted to thank her for her efforts on both on the amendment and on bringing this legislation. So thank you.
Thank you, Delegate Feldmark. Delegate Hartman?
So are we on the amendment or are we past that?
We're on the amendment.
Okay, I have questions then once we get past the amendment. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. On the amendment, I'll open it up, Delegate Ruth, just in case if you want to say anything on the amendment, or we can wait till after we pass the amendments. Just want to make sure that you have an opportunity to speak as well.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to thank the subcommittee and the subcommittee chair and the committee vice chair for your work on this.
Yeah. Thank you, Delegate Ruth. So the amendment has been properly moved and seconded. All in favor of moving the amendment, signify by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye.
Seeing all in favor, any opposed? Seeing none. All right, the bill as amended. Is there a motion to move House Bill 161 as amended?
Move favorable.
Second.
Thank you. Now, any discussion on the bill as amended? Delegate Hartman?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So how long does the tax credit last?
It's at the discretion of the local government.
Okay. And then there's stipulations in there as to the use of the property. Before I get into that, so suppose I buy a convenience store that's still operating. Can I apply for the credit if I shut it down and remove the tanks?
Yes, you
It
could.
could be the same owner. It doesn't have to transfer.
You're right. Yes.
Okay, thank you. And then lastly, we're picking winners and losers in this. We're saying discount store, retail store couldn't be on the property. We often hear of food deserts. Sometimes a lot of those discount stores also sell food and some of them even sell fresh food. So just trying to wonder why we would be excluding discount stores, because it could answer some of the problems. We're not excluding liquor stores, but we'd exclude something that could offer fresh food. I'm lost.
I'll let the sponsor of the bill, if you wanted to speak to that, Delegate Ruth.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And the intent of that is while certain discount stores can offer food, they often are a barrier to real grocery stores with multiple choices of produce coming into a community. If there are a lot of dollar stores, and a lot of the times communities that have these excess gas stations also have many dollar stores are called discount stores as well. So the intent is that the legislation would promote businesses that communities really want. In my community, for example, I hear over and over again from constituents that they want more restaurant choices. And so it's really about making sure that the change benefits the community and not something that the community would consider a problem possibly.
Okay, but a liquor store then would benefit the community where one of those discount stores that has fresh food wouldn't. That's fine. I'll just, that's my opposition to the bill. I love tax credits, but I don't like when we pick winners and losers. And, that's, to me, I think some communities would welcome a discount store for in our area. Some of the more rural areas, oftentimes like one of the larger discount stores is their Food Line and their Walmart. You know what I mean? And they provide a real service to the community.
Sorry, Delegate Harmon, I just have a question. Where were we saying that we can't offer? I'm sorry, I might be missing it.
In the bill, it's early on in the bill, there's
Right. So
This-
I can help on.
yeah, page 2, right at the top, it defines discount stores. Go ahead, help me.
Yeah, I see that definition. Go ahead, Stan, because you make me.
Yeah, just at the top of page 2, it defines discount store lines 1 through 6. And then it says retail use does not include use as a discount store or a self-service storage facility.
Okay, okay, and then that's what we're applying this to as retail. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that clarification. Thank you, Delegate Harmon, for your patience.
I have a question.
Delegate Feldmark was first, Delegate Long, and then Delegate Young, and then I'll come to you, Delegate Long.
Yes,
Delegate
sir.
Feldmark.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just had a question sort of in response to Delegate Hartman's example with the liquor store. I see in the authorizing of local governments to establish the tax credit, the local government can also adopt additional eligibility criteria. So, Mr. Ward, this is just a clarification, is that if a local government wanted to exclude liquor stores as well, would they have the ability to do that under that provision?
Yes, they would.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you, Delegate Feldmark. Thank you, Mr. Ward. Mr. Young, Delegate Young, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And piggybacking on a similar space, I do think Delegate Hartman's point does stand, I'm sympathetic to it. We do have a lot of discount stores that pop up in my district. Certainly, we have enough liquor stores. I would actually add to it smoke shops, which is a real concern as well. And I concur with Vice Chair Feldmark with regard to, yes, the local jurisdictions certainly should have the ability to do this and add that expansion. I wouldn't want him to build up or slow it up, but if there was a way that we could add that liquor store and or smoke shop, I would be open to it and even be prepared to present an amendment for that. But I wouldn't want to delay the bill unnecessarily as well. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. No, I'm thinking. I think Delegate Hartman wants to respond to that as well. Before I get to you, Delegate Long, go ahead, Delegate Hartman.
An amendment, I would certainly support an amendment like that. And while we're amending, if we include a language that, if it carried fresh food, a discount store, because the discount stores have changed their business model recently, and that they are really carrying fresh food, frozen foods. And like I said, in our community, they are the Food Line and the Walmart for so many people that don't have transportation and everything. So, fresh food, a discount store with fresh food, or just exclude the discount store. But I'd certainly support the no smoke shops or liquor stores for that trade-off.
Let me ask the sponsor of the bill her thoughts on that, if that's okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The bill is the committee's property, and I am happy with whatever amendments the committee chooses to put on.
Okay. Before we entertain those, let me just get to Delegate Long, and then we can circle back if that's okay.
All right, thank you. In order to sell a piece of property or whatever, they're going to redevelop it, they're going to have to remediate whatever cleanup's got to be done. That being said, we're giving a tax credit to a property that's already did remediation to be resold for whatever reason. And my thought process is that we should leave it up to the local jurisdictions what that property can be used for, as long as it meets the criteria with the cleanup. You know, we had one property in Dundalk. Actually, it's sad, but there's a in the deed it says you cannot dig down no more than 2 feet because of the encapsulation of the contamination. That being said, I just don't get why we're giving them a tax credit to a property that's already been remediated, and you know, I just don't understand that. I would think just the opposite, that we give a tax credit to a gas station that was abandoned, that somebody wanted to go in there and do remediation. That would give them a little bit more incentive to go in there and clean it up. That being said, that's my thought process with this. If I'm wrong, somebody please, hey, I'm a big boy, I'll take criticism.
Thanks, Delegate Long. So, and I'll let council jump in as well. And Delegate Feldmark, who has been working on this as well. But this is really for that new owner who comes in, or as Delegate Hartman mentioned, that secondary owner. I mean, if they were owner previously, but after they've done what they were required to do as far as the cleanup, there might be additional cleanup that MD doesn't require, that as this new property, whatever they decide to turn it into, might have to go through, which is beyond what was done previously after MDE certified it as closed fully and properly. So we wanted to incentivize this new owner to continue to, you know, keep the property there. We want them to build retail there in that space, but we wanted to also provide an incentive for them doing it versus going somewhere else. So that's kind of the purpose behind that, Delegate Long. And I'll let council jump in as well if I might have misspoke.
No, that's 100% right. The only thing I wanted to add is just actually if it's the will of the subcommittee, you could just simply leave it up to the local governments to decide what kind of businesses they want to incentivize the former gas stations to be converted into. And the bill already allows for additional eligibility criteria for the tax credit. So each individual jurisdiction could decide if that's what the committee wants, whether to allow discount stores or smoke shops or liquor stores or not. If you all didn't want to go through and just, you know, at the state level exclude certain businesses, it's just an option for the subcommittee.
Right. Can I say something? I really have a hard time with the state coming in and tell local jurisdictions what they can and they can't do. That's where I'm having some heartburn over this. And again, if the property's already been remediated and state's been involved, wherever encapsulation dirt has been removed, dry wells, whatever, I don't know, that property would actually be worth more once it's done. I just don't understand how MDE would require them to do additional. I just don't get it, because they're going to have to do a phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 study just to get money. So I'm just, if somebody could explain that to me, I mean, maybe I can change my mind, but I just don't get it. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate Delegate Long. I think Delegate Feldmark is going to jump in on to help you answer that, Delegate Long.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, Delegate, my understanding is when a gas station closes, there's a certain level of remediation that's required for it to be safe to sit there as a vacant gas station, right? And that's what we're making sure the gas station owner is responsible for, and the tax credit can't be used for that, right?
Right.
But that's just the basic level of sitting there as a vacant gas station.
Right.
In terms of future use, if you're going to bring in residential on that property, right? Like if you're going to build apartments and have people living on that land, then it's a higher standard of remediation, right? If you're going to bring in a restaurant or something like that, it's a higher standard of remediation. And that's where this tax credit comes in. So it's not about closing the gas station. It's about converting it to whatever the next redevelopment is. And if that has a higher standard required under MDE's regulations, then this tax credit can help offset that cost. Because we don't want to see it just sitting there vacant, right? It may be meeting the minimum standards, but it's not really serving the community. So that's why this tax credit would help encourage the redevelopment.
Right. Okay. Well, I wasn't aware that there was different forms of cleanup. I thought once they removed the tanks, they went in there and did soil samples. And they basically said the property was okay to redevelop. That was it. I didn't realize there was higher levels. That being said, I'm still a little bit, well,
Thank you, Delegate Long. Let me go back to what we were discussing before we're discussing allowing the counties and the city to determine how they want to use the tax credit as far as imposed on real property. And so what we're looking at is on page 2, letter C. And we would delete if the use of the real property has been converted from retail service station to another retail use, a residential, and we would just delete that portion of the sentence. Am I correct, Council?
I think, well, I mean, that is certainly an option. If you wanted to just get rid of the restriction on discount stores, I would actually delete lines 1 through 8 on page 2. So just delete um, the definition of discount store, and then the definition of retail use as not including a discount store or a self-service storage facility. And that way you would still have retail use, residential use. But I mean, you could open it up to any use, not just retail and residential. So that would be another way to go.
Well, that's what I was saying is if we open it up beyond that, and I see, because even under retail use, I appreciate where they're trying to get rid of the self-service storage facility because we have that issue in Prince George's County where there's too many of those. And I definitely don't want more of those and it actually happened where they removed a gas station and put up storage facilities. So I also see the intent of the bill on that, but I do understand as being too prescriptive, proscriptive of the issue. I think Delegate Felmark or Delegate Long, did you still have a question?
well, no. I think I mentioned I really do not like taking local power from local jurisdictions. They know what they have there as far as water and sewer and what's available. They have road studies, they have traffic studies, and I really think it should be left up to local jurisdictions what they want to have there, because we're making laws that we don't know where the property's at. It's kind of like shooting at the moon. I'm just a little concerned about that. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, Delegate Long. Delegate Felmark?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I mean, I really appreciate the sponsor's intent with including the initial exclusion on discount stores and self-storage facilities. I mean, to Delegate Hartman's point, I mean, I wonder if we could refine the definition of discount store so that if it has and I'd want to set some standard of, in terms of fresh food offerings and groceries, that maybe that wouldn't be excluded. But I mean, I know I've been in, stores where there's, a small display in the corner that has some, a couple apples and oranges or something like that shouldn't, just because there are fresh items in the store, I don't think that's sufficient. I think it would have to be a more meaningful food offering that really is, serving as a healthy food source for the community. I'd be open to that, but I'm not sure exactly what that threshold is. So just wanted to share.
Thank you. Delegate Hartman?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We can all try to pick and choose, but like Stan was saying, local control may be the best thing. And just, if there is a particular need, I think the local officials would know best. And if they want to set parameters, if we leave it clean, if there's something that really causes heartburn, like a vape shop or a liquor store or gas stations usually aren't big enough for a storage unit facility. You know what I mean? The ones that are closing because the larger gas stations are taking over that serve, food and things like that. So the smaller gas stations that have very small lot sizes. But I really like Stan's position of let the local control. So I think the less we put in there as far as stipulations, I think it gives the locals who are elected to that area the ability to decide what's best.
Delegate Hartman, that was my idea.
I'm just supporting you, Bob. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, just to
Stan
be,
as well. We're supporting him.
yeah,
Yes, we
yes.
support everybody.
Well, so Mr. Ward, what did you suggest as far as that would address the issue?
If you want to take out the restrictions on what the new use could be, I mean, it depends on what your intent is. So if you just want to remove the restriction on discount stores and self-service storage facilities, then it would be striking on page 2, lines 1 through 8. But if you want to just strike the restriction on the new use being retail or residential, then you would strike that language on page 2, lines 19 and 20.
I see what you're saying. So instead of, we say that it should be used for retail in the bill, we'll keep that it has to be used for retail and residential or mixed retail and residential, and allow the counties and the city to determine how they want to define that, is what you're suggesting.
Exactly, yes.
Got it. If we delete 1 through 8. Delegate Feldmark?
Yes.
I mean, if that's the will of the subcommittee, that may be, but I personally wouldn't support that. I mean, I appreciated the recommendations of, liquor store and smoke shops also being excluded, but I don't think I'd want to go the other direction to just open it up to anything. So
Right.
just share.
Well,
Thank
if I
you.
might, if I might,
Let me let Delegate Young,
Okay.
Delegate Long first. He had his hands up. Thank you, Delegate Young.
Just registering my concurrence with everything Vice Chair just mentioned.
Okay. Thank you. Delegate Long?
real quick, what this bill is to do is to help redevelop a property that's been sitting there and being blighted. I think that, I'm not for liquor stores on every corner, of course not, or vape stores. But the bottom line is we want to be able to market this property and get it sold for whatever use is possible as soon as possible. By putting restrictions on it, that to me kind of hinders, the possible uses. And again, we're taking powers away from local jurisdictions. And I'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate Long. Delegate Young?
Yeah, I just want to respond to Delegate Long. Like, I don't think it's whatever use possible as soon as possible. I think it's whatever use possible, not including the ones we just mentioned. And I'm really, I have a conviction when it comes to those particular ones.
No, I agree. I agree with it, but the problem is, well, not the problem. I'm just saying to get it back on the market, my opinion is I would rather see something there than nothing. But I agree with you. I understand you don't want vape shops and more liquor stores. I agree.
Yeah, I just think we got enough of those, at least in my district. It's just they inundating us. So,
Yeah.
sorry, Mr. Chair, for stopping back on. But yeah, that's just where I'm at. Thank you, but I appreciate y'all perspective, and definitely want to make sure that these properties get back up and running. We certainly have some stations that need redevelopment in the district. But I would not want to see them turn into another liquor store and another smoke shop.
Thank you, Delegate Young. Can I make a suggestion? Delegate Hartman is here. What I was thinking, because I know we're coming on time and folks have to jump to other committees. I was going to suggest that we delete the discount store section, only 1 through 6, lines 1 through 6 on page 2, and we add retail uses on line 7, 8. We add does not include, and we add liquor store. And what was the other one you mentioned? I think that was the only one that was in vape.
Kaylin had
Vape
concerns
shop,
with,
vape shop.
Delegate Young had concerns with vape shops.
Yeah, liquor store and vape shops, and we add that to line 8 after facility.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
We could pull the definition for the tobacco shops. They're licensed shops. So I would want to refer to that particular license, because vape shop is a bit more narrow than the larger tobacco stores I'm referring to, the smoke shops I'm referring to.
Understood. And I'm using this language, but council will definitely use the correct terminology. But what I'm trying to get at is the intent of what you're trying to get at, because we can actually rewrite it as verbal confirmation and then present it as a full committee if as long as you understand that he's going to use the right terminology. But if that is the will of the body, I'm willing to support that amendment. And if that gets to what Delegate Hartman was looking to do as well.
Can I ask a quick clarifying question?
Sure.
So in 7 and 8, would discount stores still be excluded? That just wouldn't be defined? Is that, or do you want to take out the restriction on discount stores completely?
I'll defer to Delegate Hartman.
I prefer no exclusions. When I threw in the liquor store, I was just showing that, you know what I mean? We're putting specifications in the bill. So to me, I was just using a liquor store as a way to say, you know, you're excluding a discount store which could have fresh food, but you're saying okay to a liquor store. I was just showing that the putting the specifications of a dollar store how it didn't make sense. And you know, you don't need to exclude anything on my behalf. I'd rather have, you know, when you own property, there's property rights to go with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if we don't want a vacant property and we want to give a tax credit for it, I certainly support tax credits as well. But I'd rather see the least restrictive language as possible.
Got you. Delegate Feldmark, I know you had your hand up. And then we're gonna have to.
Well, I just wanted to remind folks we're not excluding these uses, right? Like the uses could still happen, they just wouldn't have the benefit of the tax credit. So we're not taking away people's property rights. We're just saying we're not going to help you pay for it. Okay, so I think that's an important clarification.
Thank you for raising that.
One last thing, if I might, aren't liquor store required to have licenses? It have to be, you know, have to be administrated through the local jurisdictions.
Correct.
So, okay, all right, that's all I was asked. Thank you.
Yeah. At this point, I don't.
Sorry.
What is the
Sorry.
what is the will of the body? Delegate Feldmark.
Mr. Chairman, I don't know if others want to weigh in. I'll just, you know, say my preference at this point would be to, you know, to add the liquor stores and whatever the appropriate terminology is to capture smoke shops and vape shops, excuse me. But not necessarily to remove discount stores. I think that is you know, that was part of the sponsor's original intent, working with the community on that. So I just wanted to put that out in terms of a potential amendment, and see if where other folks are so we can move forward.
I'll take that as an emotion. Is there a second?
Second.
So the motion is to add tobacco stores, whatever the proper language is, and liquor stores to not include as a retail use. Is moved and seconded. Is there all in favor? Is there any discussion around the amendment?
I'm sorry, I need to understand exactly what the amendment is. So the amendment is to keep everything that's currently in the bill and just add as excluded retail uses, liquor stores, vape shops, and smoke shops. Is that accurate?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ward. All right, any other discussion on the amendment? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
I have 4 in favor, 2 opposed. The motion carries. Now, on the bill as amended, are there any other amendments to the bill? Go ahead, Delegate Hartman.
I would like to remove the restrictive language for discount stores. You know, as I said, that's a grocery store for a lot of people.
Okay, so we would keep that it could still be used for retail use. And you're saying remove 1 through 6.
And,
I
and
was
then,
leaving that to legal to accomplish that goal.
yeah,
So we would still list that it cannot be used as a discount store, and they allow the counties to define what that means.
I, I think he wants to remove the restriction on discount stores completely. Is that correct, Delegate Hartman?
Correct.
So you would, to do that, you would strike lines 1 through 6, and then in line 7, you would strike the words discount store.
Okay. Is that correct, Doug Harmon, what you're looking to do?
Yes, as I said, I mean that to me can bring food to a neighborhood. We often talk about how there's food deserts. And these places could be in those areas. There's very little real estate left, commercial real estate. This could be an only option. So to exclude it, I think is unfortunate. And if a county wants to, if we exclude that language, a county can certainly do what they want to do, or a municipality can certainly do what they want. But I think we need to remove that for the benefit of the folks living there.
Okay. Is there a second?
Could be you, Chair.
I follow the will of the body.
Okay, I see how this. I see where I stand.
No, that is not it. I still love you, Doug Harmon. I want to go where the votes are. No, I want to
Yeah,
go.
okay.
Is there a second? Are you seconding Delegate Long?
No, I say it should be unrestricted, and for that reason, I can't support the amendment. Bottom
Okay.
line is, the city or county or whatever municipality, they'll have to go through what we in Baltimore County calls a DRC, Development Review Committee, and they have powers to do whatever they want. And I think it should be left up to the local jurisdictions to put what they feel needs to be put there. And I'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Delegate Long. All right, the motion fails. Delegate Felmark.
I'd like to move the bill as amended.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. There's a motion to move the bill as amended is seconded and probably moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
No.
4 in favor, 2 opposed. The bill is moved favorable as amended. I know we're at time because I know some of you have to go to the gaming subcommittee. So we won't be able to, I guess that's proper where we have to get off. Am I correct, Delegate Felmark? Or are you the
Yeah, so I mean, who all is on gaming?
I would say,
I'm on
is Delegate
gaming.
Hartman the only one? Oh, and Delegate Williams.
Yeah, 2 of us.
Okay.
As long as,
So
Mr. Chairman, as long as you have a quorum, you can proceed, but that's your choice.
I don't think it's a controversial bill myself.
Okay, well then let's move on. Then we'll go ahead. If you have to jump off, I understand. But we'll move then. Thank you, Delegate Long, for supporting this bill. House Bill 753. It is there is an amendment. Mr. Ward, could you share what the amendment does?
Sure. So the amendment requires the Department of Assessments and Taxation in consultation with the Department of Health to define what is a terminal illness and a medical hardship. It also requires that the counties develop a process for a homeowner or a personal representative or family member of a homeowner to apply for withholding of their dwelling if they have a terminal illness or a medical hardship. And then it requires for the homeowner or their representative to reapply for the withholding for medical issues or terminal illness every 2 years.
Thank you. Is there a motion on the amendment?
move the amendment.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Amendment has been probably moved and seconded. Is any discussion on the amendment?
No, go ahead.
Okay. All in favor,
Sorry.
signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Now the bill has been moved and amended. Is there a motion to move the bill as amended?
Move
So
favorable.
moved. Oh, second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Real quick question. Is this mayor shall?
This is a shall.
Aye.
All right. That's fine.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of House Bill 753, moving favorable as amended, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, the bill moves forward. Thank you all so much. This is a great committee. We are adjourned as of 12:41. Have a good one.